right, guys. The next story I want to talk about is this. That's crazy. It's like, you know, while Biden was in office and food prices was high, they was quiet as a church mouse. But all of a sudden, Donald Trump in there, and I guess he promised to lower food prices, which he backtracked on that. Now they slamming on him, because he's not lowering down immediately. And apparently we have an egg shortage too as well. Eggs in my area is like $5-6 for a dozen of eggs. Like, yeah. Buying eggs is you gotta take a loan out to buy eggs now. So yeah. So I'm gonna read it. It says Democratic lawmakers slam Trump for not making good on promise to immediately lower food prices amid egg shortage. Like Joe Biden didn't do it either. Um, it says here, during your first week of office, you instead focus on mass deportation and pardoning January 6th attackers. Senator Warren and 19 other lawmakers told the president a letter. Wow, yeah, like he's going to read that. It says Donald Trump vowed to slash grocery prices as soon as he took office, yet he has barely addressed the cost of food and in the whirlwind of executive orders he signed on his first week. Um, Senator Elizabeth Warren and other Democrat lawmakers wrote in a searing letter. The letter addressed to Trump accuses the president of backtracking on a campaign promise to lower supermarket bills starting on day one of his term. But he backtracked on it though. He said it. He said, technically I don't have the power to do that, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Um, During your campaign, you repeatedly promised you would lower food prices immediately if elected president. Read the letter, which was sent to Trump on Sunday evening and shared first with NBC News. During your first week of office, you have instead focused on mass deportation and pardoning January 6 attackers. Trump made inflation in the cost of food a hallmark for his run for his second presidential term, displaying everything from a teeny box of Tic Tacs at a rally in North Carolina to an entire table full of groceries outside his Bedminster, New Jersey golf course to express his commitment to lowering voters' grocery bills. I mean, like, I know these people supposed to be smart people. Like, I know they know how politics work. Like, motherfuckers will say anything to get elected. Then, like, once they get elected, they do the exact opposite. And people fell for this shit. Shame on the people that fell for it. Like, they should have known the first term he didn't do shit for them. But I mean, like, people. What did I learn too about being in this space? People are desperate. Like, you know, I guess Biden's turn was disastrous, which so they I guess they say that was the past, the COVID, the mishandling of COVID. So we'll give this guy a second chance, which was a mistake. I mean, Trump is God, like yeah, y'all know who Trump is. Um, but the scores of executive orders Trump has signed since inauguration day only briefly touch on food. Senator Warren said in the letter, which was co-written by Representative Jim McGovern and signed by 20 other Democrats. Your sole action on cost was an executive order that contained only the barest mention of food prices and not a single specific policy to reduce them, they wrote, citing a Trump administration memo that commits to helping Americans cost of living by eliminating harmful, cohesive climate policy driving up the cost of food and fuel. The letter comes as food prices continue to rise. Labor Department data shows the cost of groceries rose 1.8% from December 2023 to December 2024, which that was when former President Joe Biden was there at the time. Like, Trump wasn't president from then. Like, why didn't Joe Biden did something to lower it? Like, Joe Biden, it's things Joe Biden can do. I hate when people say, "Oh, Joe Biden, he can't, exactly like, control." Right? Like, it's called a corporate gains tax. I think, if I'm getting it wrong, guys, please correct me. Like, I'm autistic here. Like, it's some kind of tax you can sign. Like, basically, if corporations want to just raise their prices of stuff, they get taxed for it. Like, You know, corporations don't like to get taxed. Like, they want to pay less taxes as possible. Like, corporations want to loot the treasury. So, yeah, like, yeah, like, yeah, that's where we at. Um, eggs saw the biggest price jump, increasing 36.8% during the same time frame, in large part due to bird flu crisis that killed millions of poultry. Um, Now I'm finna watch this video. Maybe, you know, I'll learn something from this as well. Yeah, gas going up too as well.
Something that's impacting the wallets of every American, the cost of eggs skyrocketing, gas prices on the rise as well. With a closer look and what's being done about it, NBC senior business correspondent Christine Roman. Hi there. I think it's like gas prices and eggs. Right. I mean, that just really puts it all a fine point on it, and both are going up. Why?
They are. So gas prices creeping higher again. They crept higher again overnight, up about a nickel from where they were last year, but they're up a dime over the past month or so, creeping higher because of concerns about new sanctions against Russia because of its war in Ukraine. Of course, that has been something that's kept gas prices overall elevated for some time. And also tariffs, the threat of tariffs. U.S. imports an awful lot of dirty crude oil from Canada that is refined here and then sold to American drivers as gasoline. So if you have big tariffs on energy supplies, would that be something that could keep raising prices? It's a big global market, remember. So watching that to see if it still keeps rising.
Oh, so that's gas. Let's talk about eggs for a moment here, because it seems like egg prices have been going up for some time now. What's going on with that?
He said it seems. Egg prices are going up, bro. It seems. Like, I know this guy don't go to the grocery store and shop, but geez, seems like eggs going up. Man, yeah, you ain't been in the grocery store in a while, my brother.
It's been a 2-year crisis, a bird flu crisis. You have an awful lot of birds that have been infected with this bird flu, and so some of these flocks have been culled. And the average price for a dozen of eggs is $4.15, but depending on where you live, it can be almost $7 and higher, depending on where you are in different parts of the country. And this is if you can find the eggs. I keep going to my grocery store, and there are empty shelves for eggs, and a lot of small businesses, especially bakeries, have been scrambling to secure supplies. So this is a bird flu crisis. Millions of birds have been affected. In fact, in the past 30 days, I think another 13 million birds have been infected with bird flu. Overall, over the past 2 years, look at those numbers. So a crisis in the production of eggs, and that's what you're seeing at the grocery store.
A lot of people look at the election we just had and said, you know, the bottom line was it was about inflation. People want to have something done about inflation. What is the Trump administration proposing to do, and how might it affect it?
And now the new economic commander-in-chief has to fulfill those campaign promises of promising to lower gas prices, cut them in half. He said he could do that in 12 months, and to lower the price of groceries. Although more recently, he's been more moderate about those promises because it's
yeah, of course he gonna be more moderate. He got in there. Like, like, he backtracked on that shit. Yeah, he definitely did. I remember he said, technically, I can't do that. You know, I said I could do it. No, I said I could do it, but I can't do it. Yeah.
Tough to lower gas prices. One of his executive orders on the first day of business was a memorandum ordering all the government agencies to find ways to, improve the cost of living for the American people. It's largely symbolic. There's nothing in this that says the trucking company or the grocery store or the producer has to cut their prices so those prices are lower for Americans. But it does set the tone, acknowledging that, look, everyone in government needs to be finding ways.
Yeah, basically a nothing burger. Yeah, let's find ways, I'm my billionaire cooks, and we finna loot the treasury, but we're having to sign this memorandum saying that, let's find ways to cut the government. Man, basically, he said right there, that executive order said, I ain't gonna do shit for y'all. I said I did, on paper, basically, but, I ain't gonna do shit for the American people. Shit finna go up even more. So, that's basically what that was.
To make sure that the cost of living is front and center of all the business that is done there in Washington.
All right, Christine, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So, that was that. Ain't no surprise. It says the Democratic lawmakers warned in a letter that companies often exploit crises like pandemics and avian flu as an opportunity to raise prices beyond what is needed the cover rising across. No shit, Sherlock. In response to the letter, the Trump administration said in a statement to NBC News that it's already working to lower the cost of living for families. But 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 how? But the memorandum said find ways to do it. So you starting, but you're not already doing it. You starting, but you ain't doing shit. But okay. Let me continue. It says President Trump immediately took action on day one to unleash American energy, which will drive down costs for families across the country, said Anna Kelly, the White House deputy press secretary. He has already ended the failed economic policies of the past 4 years of that skyrocketed inflation, which were rubber stamped by Elizabeth Warren. Wow. Warren was a long advocated on behalf of consumers. Last year, she and others introduced a bill that would make it illegal to sell goods or services at a grossly excessive price, a term that will be defined by the FTC. The bill has yet to advance, which is not going to advance. Like, these are just some symbolic bills, like Elizabeth Warren bill, Bernie Sanders got bills, like they ain't symbolic. Like it ain't gonna go nowhere. Like these politicians are bought and paid for by these same people that raises our prices every day. So yeah, like you know, my thing is, you know, you can write all the bills you want, but they're not going to pass and sign, you know, into law. Like, it's a waste of time to me. Just a nothing burger. Again, it said in May, she sent a letter to then President Joe Biden imploring his administration to lower food prices, through better financial enforcement and price manipulation. Wow. So, okay. You know, in a statement to NBC News, Warren and McGovern excoriated Trump for how he spent his first week in office. If Donald Trump is serious about working to lower grocery prices, he should buckle down, pick up these tools, and lower egg prices and deliver on his promises, Warren said. McGovern added that Trump hasn't done a damn thing to lower food prices or to help the hardworking people struggling to put food on the table. I mean, you talking about Trump? I mean, Joe Biden had 4 years to help people to put food on the table, but he hasn't. Like, homelessness went up under his watch. Like y'all could shit on Trump. See, it's cool to shit on the other party, but when your party's in power, you like this. So yeah, this shit is political theater at this point. Like, this is what I'm trying to get across here. Like, the bills to help lower food prices for families, like all that shit is political theater. It's not real, bro. They don't give a shit about you. We are ready to work with him to actually deliver results, not just empty rhetoric, he said. About 9 in 10 voters went somewhat are very concerned about the cost of groceries, a letter to Trump pointed out. Instead of working to lower grocery bills, however, you have used the first week of your administration on attempting to end birthright censorship, pardoning individuals who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, and renaming a mountain. The letter said. Trump told NBC News Christian Walker on Meet the Press last month that his election day victory came down to two subjects: immigration and affordability of food. I'm gonna talk like Trump. I won on the border. I won on groceries, he said. But later in December, he conceded that lowering grocery bills will be very hard. I told y'all he nigged on it. Told you. It's hard to bring things down once they up, he told Time magazine. Oh God. Lindsay Owens, executive director of the economic think tank Groundwork Collaborative, said putting a stop to powerful corporations that have price gouged families in recent years will be the president's first step. Families expect President Trump to make good on his promises. He will be wise to use the FTC and other agencies to promote competition, invest in supply chains, and crack down on pricing tactics like surveillance pricing that drives up food and grocery prices, Owens said in a statement to NBC News. But if his first slate of executive orders is any indication, he's positioned himself to fail. So yeah, y'all, I read the whole thing. Why not? Oh God, like the Democrats, the only reason why they doing this because like they doing this the campaign off this. Like this is like to say, hey, the Democrats are trying to work with Trump to lower food prices for families. We are trying, but they know that Trump isn't going to do this, and Trump himself said he's not going to do it. He said very hard, like you know, like and you know, I don't. I know some people are just way far gone to understand how politics work, but the people that actually thought that voting for Trump will lower their food prices and gas prices, they were wrong, and I hope they learn from it. Like I hope they learn. Like I'm not gonna be that guy to cancel them out and stuff like that. So yeah, man.